Welcome back.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here and listening to us today. My name is Theresa Ofstad.
And this is Ariella Vaccarino. And thanks for listening to
Momentum.
In this following episode, we're going to be discussing some updates we've had this week. Some are pretty exciting.
Yes, some accomplishments.
And some plans we have. I hope you enjoy the episode.
Momentum. Two passionate and busy moms sharing their quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.
It's great to see you, Theresa.
Hi, Ariella. It's great to see you. Wonderful to be back and recording another episode today.
Yeah, and we've both been so busy, and let's talk about all the stuff we've been doing so that we give our audience some inspiration.
Yes. I know that you have been up to some really cool things.
Yeah.
Tell me about what your other podcast is.
Yeah, so I have another podcast, which maybe it's out there by the time you guys are listening to this, but it's called The Talented Magical Mommies Club. And it's kind of how we even talked about podcasting in the first place. I had this idea of this thing I wanted to do, talking about mommies and, their hidden talents inside and how they can connect with them. And maybe once they were opera singers like me and they became moms, and then what are they going to be doing, to be in touch with that part of themselves? How do I get them in touch with their creativity? So I've been wanting to do a podcast for it, but we started first, which was great because it's teaching me what to do. So I've since recorded 4 episodes of that one, yes. Theresa, thanks to you, because if you weren't in my life, I would have never started Momentum, which got me ready and taught me how to do it. Still learning a lot.
Thanks to you as well, Ariella. And you had how many interviews already?
Okay, so I did 2. The first 2 were just me, blabbing about my ideas. And then I did, my next one was a woman who decided she wanted to do it as a video podcast. I gave her the option, but I didn't think she'd pick video. And so I have to tell you, though, this is not going as smooth as it, sounds. Yeah. She came in and she had this fantastic camera that she wanted to use, and I had my iPhone, and so she had a fancy camera. So we set it up, and I told myself I was going to do it, and I put the chairs together, and I tried to light it. I have no idea what I'm doing. And she brought the fancy camera, and she set it up, and she told me how it was so great. And then, so she set it up in the middle, and we did all the lighting and the checks for it. And then just in case, not even just in case, just so that I had it, because I didn't know when she'd give me a copy of the stuff, I put my iPhone up to videotape as well, just kind of on the side, didn't check angles, nothing. And then, I had it all set up all pretty with a little table and a chair between us, and I had the microphones all set up, and we were talking on them. And so I would say maybe 40 minutes into the recording of the podcast, because I haven't edited it down yet. We realized, we both looked up and saw that her camera was just shut. It was closed. So it just turned off. And we don't know if it turned off 5 minutes in or if it turned off, 40 minutes in. And we had talked a lot. Like we were down to like kind of the wrap up at that point. And thank goodness I had my iPhone, because she really had wanted to do a video podcast. Now, I have a feeling we're not going to end up doing a video on this one and just going audio. Yeah. But, on top of that, I kept having some weird issues while I was recording, where I noticed that the waves, there's these waves as we record, that both microphones kind of looked exactly the same, but it was recording and I could hear it when I played it back. And so I thought it's no big deal. But after the interview, after she left, I noticed I had never plugged in the interface that actually plugs in the microphones to the computer to do the recording.
Oh my gosh.
So, come on. So, and I spent all this time setting it up, but it did record, but it recorded directly on my Mac computer. It's fine. It's sound. Hopefully my son can make it sound good.
Yeah.
But just everything went wrong.
Yeah.
It's so exhausting trying to think of all this stuff and not having someone set it up for me.
Yeah. No, you've got so much more capabilities when it comes to this technical microphone stuff than I do. I would be totally lost as well. So
when something's not
God
working.
for you.
Yeah. And, I have a son who can help me with the stuff, but he wasn't available, and I just felt so lost. And so then I did it 2 days later, I did another audio, just audio, not video, audio interview with another great mom for my Talented Magical Mommies Club. And I was having recording issues. I didn't know what was wrong. And I saw the waves going, 2 different waves the whole time. And I tried to save it, and I hadn't saved it. So I tried to save it while we were recording. And then I tried to play it back, and I could see the waves, but I couldn't hear anything. And then I thought I saved it, but then I couldn't find it. And I literally had to ask this woman, and we had talked almost an hour.
Yeah.
I had to ask her to do it all over again.
Oh my gosh.
She was so nice, but we were able to do it. I was afraid we wouldn't be able to capture it.
Yeah.
But we literally did it all over again. And I was able to save that one. But frustrating because,
Yeah, and I really, really, like I say, I'm so happy that we've got all this set up thanks to Ariella and her wonderful, talented family.
Yeah, but I have unlimited knowledge on how to use it all.
Yeah, but, for me, I do have an idea of doing another podcast, and with my webinar, my course that I'm going to be building, I don't have any of this equipment at home. But again, I don't want that to stop me.
No.
I'm still going to record, whether it's from my computer or from my phone. I do have that ring light that I can help use for propping it up and getting the right lighting, but it'll be based on my iPhone and my computer. So, I mean, there's definitely different qualities, but don't let that stop you from doing it.
Right.
You just got to make sure and work with what you have. And, with all the additional technology, like she said, there's so much equipment here that things have to be plugged into each other and everything's got to work
And
properly.
just, this is minimal what I have going on compared to somebody like Official. I mean, I have something called an interface. If you guys are looking to record yourself, the interface if you have microphones, you can't just plug your fancy microphone into your computer.
Right.
There has to be like this thing called an interface for it to go through. I have something called the Focusrite. Maybe I'll put an affiliate link. I don't know. And so the microphones, you need special cords to go from the microphone to the interface. And then you need a special cord to go from the interface into the computer.
Yes.
And then I record on something called Logic, which I've learned how to use.
Which is a system you need in your computer to play all this stuff, right?
Right. And there's Pro Tools, there's GarageBand, there's all kinds of things that people do have on their computers right now. And I bet there's all kinds of things I don't even know about.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of podcasting hosts also offer some sort of more kind of, not dummied down, but simpler recording program you can use directly on that as well. We just don't need to.
Right. But I have to add really quickly here. My son years ago had bought what's it called? A launch pad. And the launch pad it's this it's a square with a whole bunch of buttons on it that light up and they each make different sounds. And it's
like music sounds, right?
It's music sounds. It's not a piano, but it makes different digital sounds that you can create music and, create melodies and all this stuff with. It's really cool. He thought, I want to use this. He had a friend that used it. And it seems so simple. You go and you buy it from the store, you get it to come in, and it does look similar to some of this equipment that you have here. I'm sure I needed an interface. I don't know what I needed to do to get the launch pad to connect to the interface, to connect to the computer, and then set up a software. We got as far as setting up the software and then stopped. And he's never once used it. This was a gift that was super expensive, that had all this technical capabilities to do. I just didn't know how to do it. And I'm pretty technology savvy. Yeah. But it's just spending that time to figure it out. And it became one of those things. I said, we'll figure it out later. Don't worry. We'll figure it out later. And then we never circle back to it.
Don't we all have some sort of expensive gift that has a similar story to that? Like where we never got the batteries, or it's even the Instapot that's still sitting in the box because we're scared of it, or the espresso machine that we don't know how to use.
Rotato. Ours is a Rotato. This thing
what is that?
So cool. You stick a potato on it and you crank it and it did curly fries. It did all this stuff. I don't know why. I thought when my husband was not bachelor, but before we were married and when he was living on his own, we were together, but I just thought it was the coolest thing. So I bought it for him. I'm like, I promise we're going to use this one day. And it stayed in the box and it moved with him from place to place to place. And after 10 years of never opening this box, we finally said, okay, can we finally sell it in the garage sale?
And it's still such a disappointment. Like, you're such a failure moment when you give into that, and you're like, you're suffering, and you're bringing it from place to place because you have this sense of guilt, like you need to take care of it. I know that feeling so well. Yeah. I have a feeling that if we asked my son, he in like 5 minutes could set up your launch pad for you. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, maybe we should make that as like, we'll announce when it happens. Bring the computer and the launch pad. Let's see if we can do it. Why not?
See if we still have it. We might have sold that in the garage sale.
That's fine. No, please don't put this on yourself. Don't we have too much.
But seriously,
on.
if we have it, I would totally do that because it would be cool for him to use one day. And it came with a microphone. It came with all this equipment and stuff. And we've never used it.
I know the intention, like we imagine ourselves, that's why, and sometimes we need this stuff to get started. Like for me, it's like I needed to get the microphones. I know we could have done it with what I had before, but I kind of needed to put on the dress so that we could go to the party.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do need that to get going. And then sometimes it's just you're buying the stuff, but you're never going to use it.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't let it stop you. But I do think maybe we should talk about maybe some used microphone. You can find something to up your sound quality a little bit for your, we should talk about it.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Yeah.
But my point is I don't want to let that stop me if I don't have the equipment set up. Or, if I'm in a moment and I'm ready to record, I just need to do it.
That's right.
Because, done is better than perfect, right?
Correct. And there's also the very simple microphones that you can get to attach to your iPhone, and they're pretty good. I've done some recordings on those, not expensive. So that might up the sound just a bit, but our iPhones are so amazing.
I know they are. Every generation's better and better.
So,
but that also leads me to the idea you were talking about my son and his launch pad that never got going.
Yeah.
But this morning we were talking, and we'll actually have two thoughts here, so they're both coming in at me at the same time. But
alert!
I know, right? Okay, hold off on that thought. Move to this thought. So first of all, he and a friend of his had an idea to create a podcast.
Oh, nice!
They actually wanted to do a podcast even before we had this idea.
Okay.
Before we met and started walking. The two of them wanted to do a podcast about sports. They're so sports minded.
Yes.
And both of them would be fantastic at it, but they haven't done it yet because how do you do a podcast? I don't know. Let's talk about, and my husband and I have been encouraging them. We're like, you should really do that. You guys could be really good.
Yeah.
And they have yet to do it. So I'm hoping that after we are launching our momentum and we are experiencing all of this, how to get started, how to create a podcast, that I'm really hoping that they'll get going with theirs because they would be fantastic. But it led me to think also about a funny conversation with my son and I in the car this morning.
Okay, back to the son in the car.
Back to the other thought, the son in the car.
We all know that. We all know the son or daughter in the car.
Us mommies have had many conversations on the way to school, just random thoughts. And so he was talking about a friend of his that he has known for a while, but they haven't really socialized outside of school for a while. And so they were talking, and he goes, I think it'd be really cool to get together with so-and-so and, after school or whatever. So I was thinking today, maybe if I see him, I'm going to ask him, hey, so what's your Snap? I go, wait a minute, what? And he goes, yeah, I'm going to ask him what his Snap is. And I go, would that be Snapchat? And he goes, yeah. And I go, oh, okay. So if I'm walking around, should I ask somebody, hey, what's your face? He goes, Mom, don't ever say that again.
Oh my God, I'm going to say it in front of him at basketball.
Yes, hey.
You got to say it to me.
Hey,
oh my God,
Trenton, what's your face? Now, of course, he doesn't have Facebook. They only have a Snapchat and Instagram, this generation of kids. And so he goes, but Insta is a thing. Because I said, what's your face? What's your Insta? He goes, well, Insta is a thing. And so we had this whole conversation, and I'm laughing about it. And I said to him, I go, oh, thank you, Trenton, for these tips and tools. I'll have to use it on the podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No problem, Mom. Just make sure I get paid royalties.
Oh, that's awesome. He's a great kid.
But it's just encouraging him. And again, it's what they see us do. Yes. I'm so hoping that after getting this up and going, that he and his friend can start working on their podcast too.
I really think that my kids, because I'm watching, they're all excited. Like, we finally chose a logo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's been real painful. And I still, am I happy with it? Yeah. I don't know. Do I want to change it one day? Maybe, right?
And the thing is, every version has been fantastic and every version is doable. Yeah. But it's like, well, which one do we use?
Yeah. And, even asking them everybody had to do, I like the blue one, I like the red one, I like the pink one. Oh, you can't have the heart. Oh, you need to, you're like, oh, that looks like Mickey Mouse ears. Oh, it's like at a certain point, we just have to pick one.
Yes.
Just pick one. I think everything else you look at, most people don't have a choice at what they're looking at, right? So we had to pick one. That's part of what we're doing. We have to make choices so we can move forward, or buy the microphone or not, and make the recording. We have to move forward. Or for the video that I tried to do, I didn't. I could have hired someone to show me how to do it. I didn't, but now I at least have the content for another audio podcast. So. Yeah. But I think it's what I want to say is my kids are all kind of into it. Like we were around the dinner table and everybody's talking about our logo. Like there's like a thing going on, you know, and they're going to tell their friends about it. Oh, like my mom, the podcaster, or you have seen her podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're showing them that we wanted to do something. They're watching us from scratch build it.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why we created this, because we want you to see it from scratch too.
Right. That's
and to know what our journey has been, and to know that they're not always so smooth sailing and you don't just jump into business full up and running.
Right.
There are steps you need to take. And we want to help everybody build that momentum and get you to the next step and get you to the next thing that you need to create.
And that's what we're doing. And we hope that, we're inspiring you, because I feel like I'm inspired. Everybody I talk to hears about it. I feel like they're getting inspired. And, if we could start a little movement around us of people really going after their dreams and telling them it's okay. And, change is super uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean it's not fantastic. You know, it's like, get the haircut, try the new thing. Just try things. We don't have to be done just because we're moms.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, this has been fantastic. I love working with you, Ariella. So because we're all about momentum and all about getting things done. And you talked about what you have done this week.
Yes.
So for me, my check-in, my accountability partner, I'm so excited. I have 3 clients I'm working with right now.
Oh my gosh,
Teresa. Just talked to, it's that you get a lead and you know somebody needs help and you try to connect with them, and then of course it's the phone tag, right? Yeah. And then you go, oh my gosh, are they going to just give up and we're never going to connect? But you don't give up. Just keep trying, trying. You can call, you can text. If you have their email. I didn't have her email yet. So this was a lead that came to me from a friend of mine that that knew I was doing this. Yeah. And so she connected us. We finally got together and went over what she needs for her mom. She was wanting to move her mom closer to her and needing help finding a place. So and then I have a good friend of mine who, after seeing my GoFundMe launch and all the social media that I had circling that, she said, hey, Theresa, I didn't realize you were doing this now. I really need help for my mom and dad. Yes. So that's my other contact. Right. And then I had one that I had been working with already, and they're just not quite ready to move. So, so I have 3 clients I am working with right now. And
clients get clients, as we know. I mean,
Yes.
as we become busy, people will get interested. Oh, she's doing that?
Exactly.
Oh, I got to use her, or I got to recommend her to this person.
And the more that I work with communities, they will know and they will recommend me too, because not every client that comes to them is a good fit. Yeah. So if they can't fit the need, then they will reach out to me and have me help them fit the need.
And so is that going to be called Theresa Ofstad, or is that going to be Call Fuller Life?
Call Fuller Life, Theresa Ofstad. You could find me on LinkedIn as well.
Oh, see, there you go, honey.
You could always message me if need
fantastic.
be. Facebook, Instagram, and Insta. And LinkedIn.
Yeah, but we're not really Snap.
Yes, not Snap. I'm not on Snap. I'm not on Twitter. That's the thing. Which social media outlets do you use? But they doing all of them can be overwhelming. So, but yes, and I'm so excited because I really am passionate about it. And even just talking to my friend this morning, and I said, first of all, I'm so happy to be helping anybody who needs help, because I've been through it. I've done it myself. I've had to find a place for my dad. I've had to find a place for my grandmother. And so I've had to find all different kinds of places. Some places that have memory care, some places that have assisted living, some are board and care, some are all different kinds of communities that provide different things. So at different budgets. Yeah. So so there's something for everybody out there.
Oh my gosh, someone would be so lucky to use you because you're so kind and you're not going to try and take advantage of them.
And I really am passionate about it. I want to help them find the best place. And
they don't pay you, right?
No, they don't. It is a free service to the family and the client and the person.
And then you get paid by wherever they get placed. Is that correct?
Once they move in, the community that I referred them to does pay referral bonuses.
Okay. Great, because you need to make money.
Exactly.
That's okay.
I do have to put bread on the table.
The bread.
Kind of thing. Yes. Yes. But it's the passion that drives me, and it's the income that's necessary to continue to do the passion that drives you.
Absolutely.
So don't worry, I'll be taken care of when you're coming to work with me, and and the thing is, it is so appreciated. I know, because I've been on that side and appreciated the person who helped me. And so I know what that, and it just brings me such joy to see the appreciation and to hear the thank yous, but that's all I need, just to hear it. I don't need anything else. They always feel like, what can I do for you? You've done so much for me. And I say,
you could tell everybody about Fuller Life. You know what you could say?
Exactly.
Say, feel free to refer me.
Referrals are all I need.
That's all you need.
Referrals and a hug.
And a love. And your love.
Referrals, love, and a hug.
That's amazing.
So I've got that going on, but it is a process. It does take time, and because once they move in and the community decides to pay you, they take their time getting the check out. Yeah. So it will be a little bit of time before that comes in.
It's a lot of investment.
It's a lot of time invested, and then eventually it will be rewarded. Yeah. But in the meantime, I want to keep my passion and keep moving forward in this journey and in this business. So in order to do that, and in order to make money, I ended up taking some seasonal jobs, some part-time jobs. And, so to be honest, I'm door dashing. I signed up for UPS as a seasonal delivery driver, a personal vehicle driver. Yeah. And, it's and
you're able to make calls, and it gives you some freedom.
I'm able to listen to things on the podcasts or, anything that I need to be listening to and connecting with, making a phone call if I need to in the meantime, and doing all the work in between times. Yes. And it does give me the flexibility I need to be able to work this business until the income starts coming.
And you're driving around and you're getting to see other communities. I mean, you're kind of fitting that into your day as well, right?
Yes,
yes. That's amazing.
Because I can DoorDash anywhere. So I am going into the areas that I need to focus for my clients. And as I'm looking at those communities for them, I could be DoorDashing on the way in between.
Great. That's what we got to do. What we got to do. I think that's great. And there's so many things that like that now. I think it's like Instacart and Uber and DoorDash. It does give you a certain flexibility to pursue your dreams. You know, for me, teaching has been great because, I have these hour-long commitments. And recently I started some group classes, per hour conversations. And I just want to tell you something fun. This week, I decided to do it because it's confusing. When you do groups, it's like a whole other thing. But, if you don't want like one person to show up and then, one day you have 8, one day you have 1, and how are they paying you? Are you getting paid for 1? Are you getting paid for 8? So I finally figured out how I wanted to structure it. So I'm doing it in sessions. So this first one was a 7-week session, and they pay up front 7 weeks, whether you come or not. And there's other classes like that. If you sign up for a dance class, that's how that works, right? If they have to miss, they have to miss. If I had to miss, I would make it up. Yeah. But this time I feel much better about it because years ago I did groups, and then people would show up sometimes people wouldn't. I never knew how much I was going to make, and then and it takes away from me being able to teach private, which is a guaranteed a certain amount. So I feel good about that. I feel like I kind of cracked the session idea, being paid up front for the full session. Yeah. So I was telling the class this week, I said, okay, so we have 1 more, and then we have 3 weeks, and then we have, we were on week 6 of 7. And then they're like, and then what?
Yeah. And then there's more.
No, and I said, well, if you guys want another session, I'm happy to do one. I mean, it's up to you guys. And all of them. I was so excited. Yes. All of them were like, yes, of course we want another session. Yes, you're a great teacher. This is so fun. I love the class. Yeah. It made me feel so good. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. It made me feel so good because I was like, it's up to you. I just wanted to try this group. It's only 7 weeks, and it's so cute. And this particular class is starting to gel, and they all kind of know each other, and they're learning songs together. And at first, maybe they were too cool for certain types of music, but now they seem to want to learn everything because they got used to the idea of maybe me introducing musical theater or Disney. And we're just learning songs and having fun. Has nothing to do with this podcast, but it was, I got that feedback, this positive thing, and I felt really good about my time spent. Yeah. And it is a way that I do earn income.
Yes,
and I really love it. And I loved it. I just loved it.
It's your business. Yeah. It's your talent. It's what you provide. It's your thing that's in you that you can provide to others. And it does make us feel good when you see the work that you put in, be appreciated and be of service to others, you know, it just makes you feel so good. But I do remember you know, trying to figure out, well, how much should I charge for this? You know, just so I'm glad that you found something that seems to work for you and for them.
Figuring out the pricing, it was complicated. It was complicated. I know how I charge for my hour lessons, but this is different. It's groups and like who's going to show up, and do you split the time, and is it cheaper if more people join? It's just a lot. And I think I figured it out for now, so I can actually do it now. So it's great.
Awesome. That's awesome. I'm so proud of you, Ariella. This is we've talked about this on another podcast, but you know, she just did it. It was just you know, like I said, she and I sitting here at one of the basketball practices,
it's all about
and she's like,
back to basketball.
Okay, I'm gonna launch this the two classes,
I
two
did
group
it
classes,
that night.
and you just were like, you sent out you just instantly sent it out on Facebook.
I finally
sent
saw it.
however.
I got it. I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you were watching me, and you were trying to talk to me. I'm like, I got to finish this. I got to send this out.
I just have to focus. I got to send this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. She sent this. So, of course, I had to share it. And I'm like, everybody, you know, take a look at this fabulous class that my friend is doing. And, you know, so it's all about helping each other, you know, connect to our communities.
Yeah. Well, and listen,
but you did it.
We're both doing a lot. We're both working really hard. And I think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we're on the verge of launching. I know, it's so exciting.
After we record today, we are sitting down, and I think we are going to let our first episode out into the world for real. We've been saving it as a draft and getting the logo and writing the description. Nothing is perfect, guys.
No. And that's the thing. I think I may have overdone on the first episode when it came to the content. I really completely transcribed the whole thing. And Ariella was like, you did that? Are you doing that on every episode?
Like, you transcribed
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, episode 1, I'm doing everything.
Yeah. We don't know what we're doing.
Just to see what's the flow. And then she had some tips that she sent me, and I'm like, okay, you just from, you know, again, YouTube, Googling, you know, podcasters, you know, tips and tricks. And, you know, as far as the content, what do we put on the page? We have to create a website. You know, a landing page.
So we
for
did
people
that.
To go.
Oh, that's an achievement.
Yeah.
Achievement board.
Yes, we did that. So, and then we added our profile. So there was a lot of work to go into the first one.
Yeah.
Tagging. We're in the process of finalizing the tagging before we launch it.
And then there's something about creating chapters, so after we get off right now, we're going to look at that first episode, and we're going to hit, I guess, live or public.
Yeah, publish.
Yes. Lord.
On the Podbean.
We're going to hit publish. And then, you know, because it's our first podcast, we're going to have to then look at distribution. Once you have a podcast, then we have to somehow send it out to iTunes or everywhere it goes, Apple, Spotify and all the places. Yeah. Podbean has a way to do it, but we have no idea because we haven't had a podcast to try it yet. So we're gonna publish one, and we're gonna see what we're supposed to do with it.
And if you're listening to this, we've done it. Another accomplishment.
So I think we figured out that we're going to release every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's Los Angeles time.
Yes, and every single week.
Yeah, so East Coast will be 8 a.m.
8 a.m. on the East Coast.
And then it'll be available all the time. I don't know how much it matters, the time or the day.
Yep.
I think
it'll be up. That's just when it goes live, and it will be sitting there on our podcast. So please click subscribe and share with everybody you know.
And reach out to us. Talk to us. Let us know. Go to our Facebook page, and then we'll have one a week. I think our ideal is to get 3 out there as soon as possible, so you have something to listen to.
Yes. Yeah.
And then every week there's going to be 1.
Yes.
Okay. So
first 3 and then 1 each week. So we're so excited.
So we're going to go work on that. You guys go have a great day and go after your dreams.
Yes. Follow your dreams.
Mom and Tom. Two passionate and busy moms sharing their quest to achieve entrepreneurial success.